How would an F1 car from the 60s fare against a modern supercar? Stay tuned for an Italian shootout at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Welcome back everybody to the racing line, and in this episode we are going to pit a Formula 1 car from the 60s against a modern supercar. So the reason behind this little experiment is that in video games and in sim racing, cars are often given a rating. So I thought it would be interesting to take cars with very similar ratings in Forza and see how they actually perform on track. So without further ado, let's go have a look at the car, then go drive them around the Nordschleife and see what kind of times we can get out of them. I'll see you on the other side. Alright, and let's start with the Formula 1 car. It is a Ferrari 158 from 1964. It sports a 1.5 naturally aspirated V8. It is mid-engine and rear-wheel drive, and it makes 210 brake horsepower for a curb weight of only 468 kilograms. That's just over 1,000 pounds, which makes it incredibly fast and nimble, but also very tricky to drive. Alright, let's have a look at the competition now. The beautiful 2009 Ferrari 458 Italia. It is fitted with a 4.5 liter engine. It is a naturally aspirated V8 producing 562 brake horsepower. Just like the Formula 1 car, it is mid-engine and rear-wheel drive, but it weighs a massive, in comparison, 1,500 kilograms, which is about 3,200 pounds. So without further ado, let's just head to the track and see how those two cars compare with one another. And here we are at the Green Hell, 20 kilometers, 154 corners and 300 meters of elevation changes as we head into the first corner. The 458 going over the curb a little bit. Both cars sporting similar pace so far. Some of the sections of the track are going to be more to the advantage or of one or the other, but the cars are supposed to perform similarly in general with a similar rating in Forza Motorsport 7. You can see that I'm being very, very careful with the throttle in the Formula 1 car. Very, very lively car, easily driven in the wall if you don't pay attention. But of course that's what you're gonna get when you have a car that weighs under 500 kilograms with over 200 brake horsepower. Okay, both cars fairly composed around here. Now we open the tap a little bit. Both V8 engines roaring. As we go toward this very fast right-hander, I have to lift in both cars, a bit squiggly in the Formula 1 car. That was a bit scary. As we head towards the first downhill section of the track. Very fast section, but not a whole lot of downforce on either car, especially on the old one. Scary corner going uphill, going down to third. Formula 1 car drifting around, very tight, always tighter than you think. Left-hander, right-hander, and then we can very carefully press the loud pedal again. Bit of spit of flames there. As we go downhill, shift down, try to stay under control. All the 458 drifting. Okay, the first third of the track is roughly behind us. Getting into this fast section, which section is not fast around the Nürburgring indeed, but this one can come and surprise you if you don't respect the track. It's easy to understeer, end up in the wall on the left hand side as we start going downhill again. Both cars under control, neck and neck. Maybe a slight advantage to the Formula 1 car. left-hander, avoid the wall. As we now start the ascension, we are at the lower point of the track, and we now are going to go uphill. Coming towards the back straight, trying not to slide too much around here. Left-hander slower than you think. There's a third gear corner. 458 drifting around a little bit, losing the tail. You can see that the 458 is missing a headlight. I did have a bit of an accident on the warm-up lap. And here again, putting one wheel on the grass. I like to do it dangerously. Section of the track particularly tricky in the Formula 1 car. You would think you'd be able to open the tap fully and put all the power on the road, but it's actually not a very straight back straight. It is quite curvy, and it's easy for the car to slide around. As you can see right here, a little bit too much speed and you can lose it easily. As we brake hard, going right and towards the carousel. Right, hard on the brakes, down in the third gear. Famous carousel, take it easy. Easy on the gas as you get out of the bank. And we are now roughly halfway through and into what is my favorite section of the track. Although I have to admit that in the 64 Formula 1 car, it was a bit scary around here. You do not have any downforce at all to help you with the corners, so you really have to be very careful with your steering, with your throttle, and not overdo it. With this car, you have to remember that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Bit of flame from the 458 as we reach the end of this section, going uphill, cloud of smoke. You can admire all the graffiti on the track. Nice helicopter shot as the cars are still neck and neck. Bit of a wiggle from the Formula 1 car. Once again, trying to keep everything tidy, everything under control. Going downhill again. Ooh, a bit of sliding around from the 458. What did I do to this car? That's going to cost a lot of money to fix. Sliding around again. It's a heavy car, so it is easy for the momentum to swing you around if you're a little bit too quick around the corner. Second carousel as we head towards the final straight. Always try to be careful here, put yourself in a good position to achieve maximum top speed in the final straight. And here we go. Now it is pedal to the metal. Trying to use all of the power from those V8 engines. 200 brake horsepower from the Formula 1 car. 458 brake horsepower in the Italia. Both cars topping 180 miles per hour. Towards the end of the straight, that's a whole lot of speed to carry when you need to slow down. As you can see, the 458 a little bit out of shape. Managed to save it as we enter the last few corners. They are still neck and neck. Alright, as we head towards the finish line and across the line. Alright, without further ado, let's head to the studio and look at the results. And here we are. I've driven both cars around the Nordschleife. So the way I did it, you could see I gave myself a warm-up lap and then one hot lap to record the time. So without further ado, the Formula 1 from 1964 did the lap in 7 minutes 45 seconds, 7:45.5, while the 458 Italia did it in 7:49. So just a few seconds difference, which are mainly due to my driving. I did a few mistakes with the 458, so they're very similar lap times, especially if you take into account that it's an almost 8-minute lap. So a few seconds are really marginal. And yeah, that kind of confirms that although the cars are very different in nature, they do perform in a similar fashion around the track. So that's one point for the rating system in Forza. I will do more videos of that nature, trying to drive SUVs against old sports cars on other things like that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be back later with more content. And in the meantime, just click all the buttons. You can support the channel by buying us a cup of coffee. There is a link in the description. And I hope to see you guys around. In the meantime, just keep driving.